we are finally going to get to cook a meal in the boat tonight, and we're making like our first official grocery store trip, which is super exciting. It's gonna be interesting though because it's pretty hot out today. It's been sweltering. We don't look like it because we showered to go grocery shopping because we were that gross. But we're gonna get some grocery shopping done, and we're gonna get some gourmet cooking done in the boat. So come along with me.
Yeah, change of plans. We've been trying to meet up with another couple in the marina for probably a month. They keep asking us, hey, just stop on by and have a drink with us. And we tried going by the past 2 nights. They weren't there, and they said they're available, and it's a little too tight for us to be able to make it back and cook. So we did our grocery shopping, but we had to get takeout again. But we'll cook tomorrow night.
Yeah, and fast food takeout, not even like good, yummy sit-down takeout.
It'll do. Back from the grocery store. It feels great to actually buy some veggies because we have not had many veggies in our diet lately. So it's good to have that, and it's also just nice to be able to stock up on all the other things that we need and feel like we can actually do some cooking around the house instead of having to get to 6 o'clock every night and say, where do you want to get takeout from tonight? Not anymore. So because our fridge gets a little bit damp, mostly because the cold plate that actually makes it cold has water that freezes on it from the humid air, and then whenever it's not running, that defrosts and basically runs down into the fridge. So we try not to keep paper goods or anything like that, and since sometimes eggs can come in like a cardboard container or an egg crate that would be destroyed by the humid air, we got egg cartons, plastic egg cartons. They'll also hopefully hold them in place a little bit better. They got little things inside there to kind of keep them in place. Got them from a camping store, so they should be good since they're made to be packed into a backpack and carried off into the back country. So we'll see, but at least we got a few of them for us to use here. Still move, just a little bit. These are medium eggs, so maybe a larger egg will actually stay in place, but it'll still hold them solid.
So we're not gonna get to cook in the boat tonight, unfortunately, but also it's worth it since we're hanging out with people we want to see forever. But we will be cooking probably tomorrow night, and we'll bring you along for that. It's gonna be delicious. So since we're gonna be, let me close this up before I lose all the cold. Since we're gonna be joining some people in their boat and hanging out, we didn't want to come empty-handed. So we grabbed some of these burger cookies, which are like a Maryland thing. And it's like a cookie with a whole bunch of fudge on it. I don't know, George, you?
Oh yeah, just a like inch thick layer of fudge slather on top.
Yeah, so I always heard about these growing up because I grew up in Maryland, but I never had them until a couple years ago. They're pretty good. I don't even really like chocolate. And then of course we're gonna bring some drinks along to share with them and bring our own as well. So it should be good. So we got a new set of sails, and the one behind me has been nothing but headaches. It's had to be remade twice, and it's finally up. But in all the commotion, now we have a new project that was not on the priority list. Yay.
That's why you don't stand on hatches, right?
Yes. When visiting your friends' boats, don't stand on hatches, because then this happens. And this is the piece that landed on the floor. So luckily I was up in the main salon, and I wasn't right here to take a foot to the head or a shrapnel to the head. So how are we gonna resolve this fully open skylight above our bed?
Well, temporarily we got to put plastic over it so that it doesn't leak in if it rains. I think it's supposed to rain the next few days, so we'll have to get that done. And then they do make new lenses specifically for the hatch. They're like 4 times what you can buy just a sheet of the material for and then cut it out yourself. So just have to order a new sheet of material and template it, cut it out, glue it into place, caulk it into place, and then we should be in good shape at that point. So not what we were looking to work on the next couple of days, but it's all right. That's part of being on the boat.
You never know what you're gonna get into.
No, it's always full of surprises, which is great.
With all the commotion of the unexpected broken hatch lens yesterday, we didn't end up sleeping here because we needed to make a new lens fast. And we also had to tape everything completely shut for some pretty heavy rainstorms and thunderstorms, and it was just better if we drove a little less than an hour over to my parents' house where the tools are for George to use, sleep in something reasonable for the night, and have George get started in the morning while it's not super hot, and get things done as fast as possible. Since making this new lens was not a priority before, it was like job number 252 on the list, and now it's job number 1. So it was really rainy last night. You can tell by all the water in this container, which is full of all the flags we're gonna need. And as you can see, some of the colors in the fabric didn't stay put and they bled onto the other pieces. So I'm sure it goes without saying, we obviously didn't get to cook last night on the boat. We still haven't cooked here. It's a little frustrating, but it would have been pretty hot and sweaty not being able to open that hatch. I'm here today to double check that it didn't leak. Since we're still going to be getting some projects done at my parents' house, since we're already there and we want to get everything done that we can get done there before we make our way back, since we packed all up to go there. So let's go and check and see how things held up, because clearly there was a lot of water last night, and there's going to be more tonight again because there's just thunderstorms all the time right now. So let's go check. This looks pretty good. It looks like how we left it last night, so it survived the thunderstorm and all of the dumping of the water. At least from the outside it looks like it. So let's go check inside and see if there's any puddles. And just for reference, this hatch is right over where we sleep at night, so hopefully it didn't get all over the place. But if it did, at least we weren't there last night sleeping under it. Alright, moment of truth. Is there any water in here right underneath of the busted hatch? Looks pretty dry right now, which is good. We also did move the cushions and everything a little bit out of the way so that if there was some leakage last night, it wouldn't be too bad, especially since we got all new foam and new cushions, and we've really gotten everything really sealed up except for this busted hatch.
Back on board after a few days up at Kelly's parents' place, and we went up there to, the primary goal was to replace this lens. Make the new one. I was hoping to be able to just use this because we knew we were going to have to replace it anyway. So I was hoping to be able to just use this to template and make the new one, but I just ended up having to basically trace the outline and then cut it, and it should be still a good fit. But while we were up there, we spent, I think it was 3 nights I think it was, that we were there. And we had a little bit of an adventure with a snake that was in her parents' basement on top of the sewing projects that I was working on. So that was a little bit of excitement for a couple hours yesterday, but we survived it. The snake did too. Everybody's all right. But now we're back on board and back to projects. Back to projects on the boat. It's supposed to be really nice. It's been crazy hot for the past few weeks that we've been on board. And then this weekend is supposed to be lows down below 60s actually one night. So that's going to be really nice, and then highs that are much more mild in the low 80s and all that. So that should make life a little bit more palatable on board. This is our fancy new lens here. Looks like it's the right size, which is good. And we're gonna be caulking it in, and then you gotta let it sit for like a day or two to let the caulk sit. Because all the hardware that supports it and holds it into place is held in place by this glue. It all attaches to the lens, so. But, looks good. I'm happy with it. What does Kelly think?
I think it looks good. It'll look better attached to the boat.
It will.
Although it's my idea to take it completely off the boat.
It's a good idea. Very good idea.
Because it's about to get messy.
What's this janky rig you got going on here?
Well, since the hatch sealant, is it called sealant? Won't cure for 7 to 14 days. We can't reinstall it for 7 to 14 days. So we need something to cover it up, and also something that's not gonna collapse. So what do we have to brace it? A bunch of hangers.
This is my baby bouncer. I just come up here and bounce. No, actually I'm going up the mast. We are installing the radar mount today, which is something we've been really excited about doing, because it's a pretty big deal, and it's one I've been kind of dreading because there's a couple complications to it that are going to be a little tough to work through. I think we got a pretty good plan for how to do it all. Today's just the radar mount, getting it mounted up, and then we'll install the radar and pull the cables and all that. But I'm excited to go up. It's been a while. Nice rocky day, nice windy day. At least it's cool. That's the important part. I don't want to be up there whenever it's 104 and 300% humidity, and I'm sweating my butt off. So very excited. See you soon. Kelly's not excited. We're gonna see what she has to say. You going up with me today?
No.
What you doing?
Somebody's got to crank you up there.
It's
Don't
true.
make me angry. I might drop you. I won't drop you at all.
Let's get a flex.
What?
Let's get a flex.
Oh,
Come on,
what?
you're using those muscles,
You
right?
can't even see it.
See that? See that right there? That's a muscle. We'll see how this goes.
It'll go fine.
We're being super safe. Got a primary line attached to my bosun's chair that I'm sitting in, which is very comfortable. It has my accessory pockets for all my bling. Then I got my secondary backup line, which is attached to my climbing harness. I got myself a little rope to pull things up because I got to bring a shop vac up eventually. Got my drill. Got my tool bag. I'm good to go.
Alright. Sending you up. The guys up in the office insisted I wear this since George is dropping things on me.
She's afraid I'm gonna drop my drill on her.
You've already done it once before.
We'll see what happens. It's been a rocky day up here today. Got the radar installed. Fished the wires in. That was a bear. Took a long time, but we got it done. It's in. And then I pulled the radar up and installed it, and it was very uncomfortable trying to maneuver this thing onto the mount while supporting it and making sure that it didn't fall and that it didn't fall on my head and everything else. So, but it's in now, and yeah, I think we're in good shape. So she's supposed to drop me. See you later. Get to work.
I am working. You said I can't bring you down yet.
Here we go. On our way down.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We are finally cooking dinner on the boat, like in the boat, using the galley, not just making sandwiches.
Grilling. We've grilled
We
several
haven't
times.
grilled on the boat.
No, we
We've
haven't.
grilled on land at the marina. We're cooking in the boat as if we were anchored, even though we're still at the marina. So
Yeah, it's all good.
it's exciting.
And we're celebrating that the radar got installed today and that the cable was pulled, which I knew that was the part I was stressed the most about. And how did it go?
And I have lots of little cuts on my fingers from the fish wire. What's it called? Fish tape?
Pull string.
Pull string. But you were calling it a fish tape.
No, Ed called it a fish tape.
Okay, somebody
I
else
call it
called it a
fish
fish tape. I don't care what it's called. It's really skinny and it digs in your fingers and it cuts you when you're pulling really hard and it's not coming out. So
Yeah.
I made it come out.
We had a hole about that big at the bottom of the mast that already had 4 cables coming through it, and we had to pull a 5th through it. And she did a great job getting a fish through. So I was up at the top of the mast just sleeping. So
Yeah.
she did all the work. It's all
He
good.
was dangling up top and I was down here elbow deep in the bilge. On a weekend at this marina is super rocky, so pretty seasick too. But all right, let's get to cooking. What are we gonna cook?
We've got shrimps because
Shrimp.
we got shrimp. We've got some eggplant that we bought at the farmer's market last weekend that we've been
Did I
hoping to
already
cook.
say it's been like a week since we grocery shopped
Yeah.
with the intent to cook on the boat?
Right at a week, so.
Yeah, a lot's come up. So
Yep.
we have these cute little fairy eggplants from the
Yep.
farmer's market. Some serranos, because hot peppers. We love to spice ourselves out of here.
Yep.
Make
got-
our own pepper spray.
Yep. So we got that, and I think we're gonna make a spiced coconut rice
Yes.
I believe. And then we're going to saute up the eggplant with some basil.
Mm-hmm.
And then do something with the shrimp. I don't know. They'll go on top. It'll be delicious. So.
We'll show you. So let's go get to doing that, and then we'll show you the final result. I'm excited. It's going to smell good and taste good. Can you tell I haven't been able to like properly cook in a couple of months? I lost all my knife skills.
Because we live in a boat that is a very confined space, we needed some safety protocols for our gas. And so we have this fancy button over here that we got to push first before we can actually light the stove. There's a little control valve at the back of the boat that opens the control valve. That way there's no way gas could ever leak into the boat. So you just do that, and then it's just like old-fashioned at home, if it wants to click.
Please click.
It says it doesn't want to click. Let's try the other one. That one works fine.
Uh-oh. There's a stick lighter.
Hey,
oh,
there we go.
okay.
Yeah, it works. I don't know what it's doing.
There's a stick lighter behind you if you need it.
But it's burning, so it's alright. There we go.
Just a cloud of fire.
Yeah, a little fireball. It's alright. How excited are you?
Very excited. Eggplant is one of my favorite veggies. It's got that natural umami. It's gonna be delish.
Yep, very excited. So, bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.